Another type of lie that's increasingly popular, and we do this on the show all the time. So this isn't a this isn't anything new, but this is a good one. The virtue signaling lie, the Trump's America lie. You know, we ran this a bunch of times. You know, like all the stuff that Sean King would fucking retweet without even questioning. You know, oh, I was at a gas station and a guy just came up to me and went, "We don't want your top round here, you black bastard," and just pistol whipped me to within an inch. And then he stole my gas. And I called the police.
An American eagle swooped down and saved me just before I died.
I called the police, and the police turned up and went, "That's just how we do things down here in the South." And then he fucking, what are those things called where you blow into the bottle, the jug? A hoedown. He did a fucking hoedown on my fucking withered body as I lay there crying, waiting for a guy from a 7-Eleven to come and fucking save me. This is Trump's America, people. Did you not get the CCTV footage from the gas station?
No.
Didn't have any. It's the only one in America that doesn't have any. Which I think might even be, I mean, it's common sense. I think it might even be a legal requirement in some states. But yeah, this was the one that didn't have it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's just nonsense. This one is linked to my Twitter. So we're going from this to that, and then maybe back to some fat people or whatever. But right. So this is unbelievable. So today I was at work and I was serving this Muslim lady. I smiled at her and she looked at me and said, "Aren't you going to criticize me for being Muslim, especially since today is 9/11? And I'm just like, "No, Mom, you didn't do anything. None of it was your fault. Besides, I don't discriminate." She started crying and told...
Why weak people? But
She started crying and told me she was the first person to... She told me I was the first person, I suppose that's meant to read. I was the first person to ever have been nice to her like that. It's sad seeing how discrimination and racism can affect someone that much. Sad face. Well, real talk, yeah. This is just you saying I'm down with the Islam and that. And, you know, I'm a liberal and all this stuff. This just... none of this happens. The idea that Muslims are walking around in broad daylight and people are coming up to them, "Go back home! Woo! I'm gonna show you!" It's just not real. It's a fiction peddled by the left, peddled by progressives, and pretending that it's happening actually does exacerbate the problem, because I imagine that the people in this person's timeline are going to read this, and I like to think that other people are going to say, this is just a lie, isn't it, mate? This is just, like if I ever saw anything like this and any of my friends ever posted anything like this, like, "You'll never guess who I just fucked," like Richard Branson.
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, Wayne Rooney. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm probably going to... That didn't happen, did it, though? That's just... I'm sorry. I'm just going to call you out in front of everyone else here. Like, you're bullshit.
A video of him bumming Wayne Rooney and you got egg on your face once again.
Right? And then, like, yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. If you can prove it, and it is just a wild story. I'm somebody who's had wild stories happen to them. I'm sure when I tell some of my stories, people think that's nonsense. And you try and you can't prove them all. So, whatever. But again, I've got a friend like this. I should have talked about this at the start of the show. And he's a legend, and I'm not going to give his name because he's a legend, because people might be able to find him, even if I said his first name. But he is a fucking legend. And we used to know this guy. I got to make up a name for him. Give me a name.
Tony.
Well, that's shit. Let's call him Johnny. Let's call him Johnny.
Why is Johnny better than Tony?
John's like one of the most common names, isn't it?
Yeah, Tony Soprano. Could have been a double hard cunt.
Yeah, whatever. So Johnny used to tell all these mad fucking stories. I mean, like some of the maddest stories I ever heard. He'd always done, shit that none of us had ever done. And he told this one story and it always stayed with me because it was out of its mind how mental it was, right? He confessed to us one day. He said, "Oh, you know what my secret hobby is?" And I've never told any of you guys about it, but I'm going to tell you now because of what's happened recently. I've always been into scalextric. You know, like
the cars
on the tracks.
Yeah.
Now, I remember getting my first scalextric set. They're just shit.
Yeah, they're shit.
They're shit. Because you have to keep the tracks clean, to keep the conductivity, and you can't just hold it down and zoom around the corners. You have to actually like slow it down, and it flies off if you go too fast, and it's just garbage. It's just crap. It's like Subbuteo. They're just shit. Yeah. Like, especially how those things expected to exist when video games were happening. Like, I don't know. Like, this was all good in the 50s or whatever, but like shit, well, it's done now. Just stop artificially keeping it alive. It's retarded. But anyway, and he said that he loved scalextric and he'd always been really good at it. And he used to go to competitions, right? So already this is getting outlandish,
Yeah.
Because I've never heard of a scalextric meetup contest in my life. But I suppose, yeah, I suppose they exist. I suppose if esports is a thing, this is a thing. And anyway, he said while he was there, he was racing, he was beating everyone, going through his heats, and he met this like super beautiful woman. She was like the only woman there. She was gorgeous.
Didn't happen already.
Yeah, no, but I mean the most beautiful woman ever. Right, the way he described it, she was like, oh, she's like classic Italian looks, and all of this. Don't know why I'm stroking a beard.
Classic Italian looks.
You know what I'm saying, ladies. So anyway, he said classic Italian looks, and she was gorgeous. And anyway, I won my race and was crowned like the champ. And she pulled me to one side and was like, "Oh, you're really good at this." And I was like, "Yeah, it's my passion. It's what I'm really into." And they went away. And they spent like about 20 minutes just talking. And before he knew it, he was just passionately making out with her. Right? Like just really just having a neck on, and then he said, like, and afterwards, like, I wanted to keep in touch with her. And I said, so, who are you? What are you doing? Why are you even here? I didn't see you racing and all that. She goes, oh, no, my father is the man who invented and owns scalextric. Right? And in the story, I didn't even think to, verify it. I just discounted it as a lie. But in the story, it was like apparently he was some rich Italian mogul or something, right? Like, and he just owned scalextric for no reason. And she used to get dragged along to all the races, and it was so boring. Like, and then she just met Johnny, and fucking was and it just changed her life. Now, this story was absolute garbage, but he said he was dating her now. He said he was, and I've met, he would come back like every week, every 2 weeks with an update. Oh, I've met Mr. Scalextric. He says I'm going to be a beautiful son-in-law. I might inherit the Scalextric fortune, And anyway, like, obviously it went nowhere. And I kept saying, why don't you bring this beautiful Italian chick out with us one night, Johnny? And we'll all go and we'll all have a drink, and he's, she can't do it. There's another big scalextric meet up in Madrid, always, right? And then, like, I confronted him about it, like, 2 years later, saying, well, whatever happened with you in that scalextric bird? He said, oh, it just kind of fizzled out. And I went, Johnny, mate, I love you, yeah? You know that. It was just a lie, when it was just bullshit. And he went, the thing you got to know about me, Rich, is sometimes I just make up stories to make my life sound better. I swear. And
that's fucking legend, man.
Like, straight up, and I said, you know what, mate? That's all right with me. That's all right with me.
That's so mental, though, mate. That's so mental, man.
Still friends with him now.
That's so mental, man.
So he's a legend, like the fact that he was just so brazen. didn't scream. The thing you got to know about me is, Rich. Like, I just make up stories to make my life sound better. Like that was it.
That's mental.
Yeah, ultimate justification.
I let you off once before, but you still got the nerve to come back here and make trouble again. Eh?
Say, children, what does it all mean?